All right, I can't wait, Jason. Thank you. Okay, so in the 80s and 90s, maternity clothes meant oversized T-shirts and loose dresses, but not anymore. Today, there are entire stores and websites devoted to trendy clothes for expectant moms, and some of them are really good. They're so good that some women even wear them when they're not pregnant. Here are a few examples for you. Okay, so take this turtleneck, for example. While it's great for hiding baby bumps, it's also adorable when worn without a bun in the oven. Just make sure to pair it with some slimmer cut pants. I like it. And believe it or not, this floral print dress is maternity wear too. Times have really changed, haven't they? It goes for $60 at Topshop. And check out this swing dress from it's called ASOS.com. Oh, you don't want to mess that up on TV, huh? For $51, you can wear it while you're preggers and continue to wear it after. You'll definitely get some bang for your buck. Okay, so this story, I'm sure you've heard about this. Hopefully this woman kept her maternity clothes too, because she's about to give birth again to her own grandchild. It's a story that's hit national headlines. A 58-year-old woman acting as a surrogate is carrying her 32-year-old daughter's daughter. Sounds unorthodox, right? I'll give you a second to wrap that around your brain. But it's more common than you might think. And here with more is high-risk pregnancy specialist, Dr. Joseph Adashek. You've seen him on the show before. Doc, I'm so glad you're here. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me back here.
Absolutely. Okay, let's just dive right in here. I like the fact that this is like the gift of life to somebody, but how do you wrap your brain around this whole concept? Well, tell us about your patients, first of all, and how you get into this.
Well, first of all, so our practice, we do high-risk pregnancy high-risk pregnancies only. We're desert perinatal associates. So these patients typically would see the infertility specialist first, and obviously it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
And it's much more common than anybody knows about. You know, certainly these patients don't usually advertise, hey, I'm carrying my mother's daughter, whatever, baby. This happens much more common than anybody knows it does.
Okay, so I'm thinking, and again, I'm Joe Average, so on the outside, I'm looking at this going, okay, what are the mechanics, first of all, of getting this done? And then secondly, is there any counseling that goes along? Because again, it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around the fact that your mother is carrying your baby.
Well, there definitely will be a lot of counseling done. Everyone will come in together to talk about it, understand the big commitment. Typically, if it's a young person and they still have their eggs, then they can harvest the eggs, harvest the husband's sperm, do in vitro fertilization, and then they put that in the surrogate, whether that's now that mother, the 50-year-old, or a sister, or a cousin, or an aunt, or whoever it is, and that's how it all begins.
Okay, so if you put the egg into this 50-some-year-old woman, there's another question. She's too old, I guess, by scientific standards to give birth, right?
Well,
but
she's probably too old to get pregnant on her own without help. Definitely. Okay. But with help, with the hormones and estrogen, progesterone, and the things the infertility specialists will give to start out the pregnancy, they can do really well. And age actually is not as big of a deal as health of the person. You know, we'll take
that's huge.
A 50-year-old who's in good condition rather than a 40-year-old, say, who has hypertension, and, seizures and everything else. So a 50-year-old in good shape can carry one baby and usually do very, very well.
That's nice to hear that. It really is, because it sounds like a scary endeavor, and like you said, that's a heck of a commitment.
It is.
Let's talk about, you know, getting the process started. I'm sure for a lot of folks, money will be a factor, and I don't mean to put you on a spot, but if we're talking about this, we have to mention that. How do you get prepared for something like this?
Well, obviously, if you're a family member, you're probably not doing it for the cash. You know, but certainly if you are off the street and you want to be a surrogate, usually it's around $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 plus.
See, I thought you were going to say more.
Well, I'm sure some of them may charge more. I don't know. But the patients I've had who've carried it, it's around that. Now, sometimes, of course, you can implant one egg and it can split and you end up with twins.
Ooh, oh boy.
And you don't even know that that can happen, certainly. So that's a whole nother issue. But it's a huge commitment. You know, physical, emotional. I mean, you know, feeling pregnant, it's not the greatest feeling in the world.
No, it is not.
Complications can happen. And, of course, we want to make sure that it's not their first baby carrying a surrogate. Because what if something happens? they lose their uterus, they can't have their own children anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So usually these are people who've had babies before, who'll carry a baby for someone else.
Wow, I'm sure a lot of folks would love to talk to you. How did they get in touch with you?
Well, we have high-risk pregnancy only, desert perinatal.
Okay.
So they can call our practice, 341-6610, and set up an appointment and talk to us anytime about it.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was some really good information.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, over to you.
All right, thanks, guys. Well.